don't do it, you will regret it for the rest of your life, and I know that's the truth.
Well, hello there, everyone. Christelle here from the Creative Crafting Club. Today we're going to talk to Claudi, and she's going to share her story with us. Thank you so much for joining me here today, Claudi. And if you can tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? How many kids do you have? What is your background? What did you do before you started your own kids crafting club?
Okay, I live with my family in a small town called Middelburg in South Africa. I've got one child. I've got a boy. He's almost 2. And I've got 4 fur babies, believe it or not. I threaten to sell the dogs every day, but they know I won't. So,
amazing.
Yeah. Before the crafting club, I worked in a corporate environment. We worked long hours. It was stressful, but I really liked what I did. And my hubby worked long hours. I worked long hours, and it was fine. We enjoyed our jobs, so it wasn't a problem. And then I had my son, and it became a problem really quickly. I was always looking for something to do creative, something crafty, and I never really thought that I'd be able to do it full time. But when my son was born, I decided that I need to scale down and I need to find something that gives me more flexibility and time. And then I really started looking. And then I found the Creative Crafting Club, and it seemed like the perfect solution for me.
What a journey! And tell us your biggest challenge prior to opening your club. I mean, what was your life like before? You mentioned you were working these long hours, but did you have challenges at the time?
Well, my biggest challenge, I think, was myself, my own insecurities, because I was terrified of taking the leap. I mean, you've got a good job, you've got all this security, so making the decision to actually go for it, for me, was difficult. And I have to say, my hubby really helped me with that, to say, do it. If you don't do it, you will regret it for the rest of your life, and I know that's the truth. If I didn't do this, I would have thought about it every day. Every day at the office, you have a bad day, and I'm going to think, I should have done this. So yeah, that was my biggest motivation. That was my biggest problem, was getting over my own insecurities and just going for it.
That's very relatable, and that's something that many of our members struggle with as well. Those insecurities, self-doubt, and fear. Mostly fear of taking that first step and the leap to just start your own club. So congratulations and well done. And what actually made you decide to take that leap and start your own club? What was that defining factor, or what happened when you had that aha moment?
The biggest motivation for me was just having more time for my child, and then being more flexible, and obviously doing something that I really, really, I love my job, but it wasn't my passion. My passion is art and being crafty. So just the idea of being able to do something I really, really love full time, decided that just was the final push for me. And then the lesson plans, I started researching the lesson plans and things, and the educational part really brought it home for me. It's just, in the beginning you're all about fun, and we're going to have paint and make pretty things, but then I realized that the lesson plans are so much more than just, painting and being arty. It is a whole educational program. Mm-hmm. And that for me was such a huge plus point. I mean, before my child, I never really thought about children's education or, the early development of your child. I mean, who thinks about it before kids? So when I had my child, I really started thinking about it, and this program for me was perfect. I mean, if I worry about the future of my child, surely there are other parents that worry about the future as well. And I know there's school and, preschool and everything, but I don't think that is enough. I think crafting clubs like this is really, really important for, early childhood development. And that for me was a huge, huge selling point, or a huge plus point in starting my club.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, because both our sons are roughly the same age now, and I know with schools there's a lot of focus on competition and there's not a lot of focus on creativity anymore. So as you mentioned, rightly so, the developmental factors such as problem solving and creativity and curiosity. I know my son is so curious. He's like, I mean, I love seeing the world through his eyes at the moment. So, I completely resonate with what you said there. And I appreciate that you appreciate the developmental skills that the kids learn through crafting.
We are still all about fun. No, it's not school. So we still have fun, but with the added benefits.
Claudi, when did you start your club?
I started my club June 2019, so we've been going for a little over a year now.
And what is your favorite part of running your club?
How much time do we have? Because my favorite part definitely is the kids. And since lockdown started, I haven't had any live classes, and I miss my kiddos so much because their energy is so contagious. I only realized how much you actually feed off that energy once I started pre-recording my classes, because that's absolutely one-sided. There's no feedback from anyone. Then you realize how cool these kids are and how much awesome energy they have. And I really miss my kiddos. So that energy they have, and their curiosity and their creativity. I mean, I think I'm creative, but the things they come up with just blows my mind. So I really do miss that, and seeing what they are up to and just how their thought process and the things they come up with. That I love that. And then on the lesson side, I love the Creative Club lessons. Like you said, it's not just fun, it's educational. And this, of course, ties in again to the future of our children. And I know you've talked about it as well. And I think on your blog you had an article about it a couple of months ago about the jobs of the future. It is a fact that a lot of the jobs that will be available to our children doesn't exist yet. I mean, that really scares me. And the day I read that I had a huge, I don't know if it's a light bulb moment or a heart stop moment. That's true.
Yes.
And it scares me. It scares me a lot, because how do I prepare my child for the future? As a mother, what do I do? And I'm pretty sure there's parents out there that feel the same. And the answer for me is absolutely creativity. That's it. And when we talk about creativity, we're not talking about arty. I mean, if your child is arty and they want to paint and sculpt, that's lovely. But I'm talking about that inborn curiosity and creativity that every child has. We have to nurture it and work on that and strengthen it. The world is changing, but school stays the same. So school teaches them to do a certain thing a certain way, but then you have employers that want an employee that can think outside the box. But they were never really taught how to do that. I mean, just take 2020 for a perfect example. I mean, no one saw COVID coming, and every company in the world, every employee had to find creative ways to do their job. So I believe in that the creativity that every child has that we have to nurture, and that for me is one of my favorite things about the Crafting Club, and the way our lesson plans are structured is that we really work on those necessary skills for our kiddos.
Claudi, it's music.
That's a long answer.
No, I know, and I mean, you and I have had this discussion before. I know that we are both so passionate about this, and you referred to that blog, and I mean, it was so interesting because I asked a few kids in our, you'll know this now, but just to share with people watching this video, I asked a few kids, what do they want to be when they grow up, and they came up with the most amazing answers. One child wants to work in artificial intelligence. Another one wants to design YouTube videos. And there was the most incredible, and they were already thinking differently to the way that we thought. I mean, as children, what I always thought, I want to become a princess, or what the obvious answers are. And then kids are already thinking differently. So, yeah, I cannot agree more with you. Claudi, What is starting a club changed in your life, and what has it made possible for you and your family?
Oh, well, obviously, the obvious answer is the flexibility. Now, I can determine my own working hours. So I can sort of work around whatever I need to do. And I've got loads more time for my son. And then, obviously, I've got loads more ideas, things to do with my son. I mean, everyone can Pinterest, but I've now decided that Pinterest isn't real. Pinterest is
No,
fake. Because
I,
I've tried some of the things and it doesn't look the same. And that kind of scares me because, as a first time mother, you might want to try something on Pinterest. I'm not bashing Pinterest. I love Pinterest. But they might want to try something and it doesn't look the same and then they get discouraged and they don't want to try it again.
and Pinterest
Which is
not been tried and tested on kids. It's adult made crafts most of the time.
no, now 2-year-olds. No, definitely not. So that kind of scares me about Pinterest because I don't want people to be disheartened if something doesn't look like the photo on Pinterest. I mean, do stuff with your child, man. It's fun. It's not as hard as it looks. I mean, if you look at our lesson plans and things we do, the craft itself is really, really simple because it's designed for kids. And that is what I love. And being able to do these things with my son and knowing all the skills that need to be developed and the skills that I can bring into a simple game. And I never thought about these things before, but knowing these things, I mean, I'm not an educator. I haven't studied early childhood development, but the crafting club lesson plans enables me to help my son with these things, as a mother, and I think that is really, really cool about the crafting club. So I would urge every mother to get involved into things like this. I mean, even if you work the whole week, you can do something fun on a Saturday morning. It takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you're done, and you had some fun with your child. So that is one of the things that I really love about having the club, apart from the time, flexibility, and all of those things.
It's a valuable point that you make by saying that you did not study early childhood development. And I think that's also one of the fears and the obstacles that many of our members have. They think that because they don't have an educational background, or some of them are not even all that creative, and they think that because of that they can't, be crafty and start a kids crafting club. So yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there. And I mean, that's amazing. And I mean, you breathe what you say and you live what you say, because I've seen so many amazing photos of you crafting with your son and crafting with your kids crafting club kids. And hats off to you. Claudi, last question. What advice or tips would you give someone who's looking to start a kids crafting club?
Definitely do your research. Don't be afraid to phone the schools in your area and find out what kind of need they have. And don't be discouraged if they tell you they've already got arts and crafts. And then do your research into the crafting club, because we're not an art class. So phone your schools and explain to them you are looking to do this amazing crafting club and these are the benefits. And talk to your mommy friends. I mean, if they might say that they want more science-based or, more messy play-based, but the crafting club caters to all these things. So I would say, do your research. And if you're not a mommy that's got kids in school, find out what times the kids are busy, what time they're in school, what time they've got sport, and what time they've got free. And if you're afraid to take the leap, I mean, you can always start part-time. If you know the times, you can do 1 or 2 classes a week and just get started, start talking to people and just start getting the word out there and just, go for it.
Thank you, Claudi. And do you have anything else to add, or are we going to go grab some coffee now?
Well, I'm sorted with the coffee. I've got my ever-present cup of coffee. Something to add. I can't stress how much I enjoy my crafting club. I love, and if you would have told me 10 years ago that I would be doing craft with children, I would have said there's no way. There's no way on it. No. But I love it. And I love working with kids. And it is not as daunting, I think, as a lot of people think. Kids are pretty intelligent. I think we underestimate them. They are really, really smart and they're really creative. And you can learn a lot from kiddies. Just let go of your insecurities and just, enjoy what you're doing. I don't know if that helps.
That's a great.
I love it. I love what I do, and I love being creative with the kiddos. And if you think you might enjoy it, I would really say, go for it. It's loads of fun. Hard work. I was up until 11 last night making a board game, but I mean, it's fun. So go for it.
Yeah, no, I love that. And thank you so much, Claudi. I think that is wonderful advice and tips that you've given and practical. Thank you so much for your time, Claudi.
Thanks for having me.